Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's presentation as part of the Industry Insight webinar series. The topic this time is New York e-filing webinar. Our speakers today are Natasha Malinsky and Bin Ree. The presentation today will be followed by a Q&A. Please enter your questions into the question box in the webinar panel on the right side of your screen. All questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation. We're recording this webinar and we'll be sending a video and a follow-up email in a few days. We'll also post the video on our blog at www.lawtechnologytoday.org. Thank you all for joining us. We'll now begin the webinar.
Hi everyone, I'm Natasha Malinsky. I would like to welcome you to our New York e-filing webinar brought to you by LEAP Legal Software and Infotrac. In this webinar, we're going to cover the basics of e-filing in New York, including best practices and how using technology like LEAP's integration with Infotrac can simplify the e-filing process for your firm. As I said, my name is Natasha. I'd like to just make a quick introduction today. I am a LEAP boutique law firm specialist here, and I've been visiting dozens of New York-based small law firms each week since I started with LEAP 2 years ago. Prior to joining LEAP, I worked in the entertainment industry as a real estate agent and as a small business owner, and having run my own businesses in various industries for many years, I really understand the challenges that small law firms face with organization, operations, and efficiency. Running a business without the proper tools in place is a true make or break for the business. And I'm excited to introduce you to LEAP today and to the power of our Infotrac integration. This will help you to better assess how this setup can increase efficiency and profitability for your practice. Thanks so much for the intro. Bin, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself now.
Sure. Hi, my name is Bin Ree. I am the VP of Product at Infotrac. Just a little background about myself. I am a licensed attorney in Illinois, New Jersey, and in Ohio. Prior to joining Infotrac, I was the general counsel and product manager at another practice management software company. I also practiced as litigation counsel for the Illinois Attorney Disciplinary Commission for the Illinois Supreme Court, where I investigated and prosecuted attorneys for professional misconduct. I've also practiced in the state of Ohio in family, probate, and criminal law. So this is a great little transition for me into the tech world, and I'm really happy to be here to talk about New York e-filing.
Great, thanks, Ben. I just now wanted to make, before we go into the e-filing portion of the webinar, make a quick introduction to LEAP. We are the only all-in-one case management solution for small law firms. We're the largest provider globally with 13,000 firms, and we've been providing software for small law firms for over 28 years. We are the only provider for small law firms in New York to offer the nuts and bolts of case management along with content specific to your firm, like e-filing to the courts, New York specific matter types, and New York specific forms. As you can see on the screen, with LEAP, firms can eliminate multiple systems and have access to everything they need to run the firm in one central location. So you have your client and matter management, automated New York forms and templates, integrated email management, document management, office and trust accounting, and a mobile app. Ben, if you want to give a little overview of Infotrac, that'd be great.
Sure, thanks. Infotrac, we provide various legal services for small law firms as well as larger law firms, beginning with e-filing, also going into the real estate sector of title reports, as well as business formations, and even into corporate due diligence with UCC filings and searches. But today we're going to focus on how we can do integrated e-filing, specifically with LEAP, and how we can offer you automatic PDF conversion, how you can preview documents, as well as doing cost recovery automatically into LEAP.
All right, and for our agenda today, we're going to cover a lot of the bases of New York e-filing as well, including mandatory e-filing for New York, e-filing rules, counties where e-filing is mandatory, using technology, boosting productivity with e-filing integration, and then we'll follow that all with a LEAP mini demo and an Infotrac e-filing demo. All right, so Ben, I'll let you go ahead into the e-filing overview portion of the webinar.
Great. So e-filing in New York is really not new. It was officially started almost 2 decades ago in 1999. And the New York court system had the foresight to initiate this process and to offer what we really eventually have today. And also, it's only in the last few years that things have really started to take off with e-filing in New York, with many counties coming on board and many different case types transitioning to the mandatory and consensual e-filing status. And as you can see, here's a quote from the Chief Judge, Janet Fiore, and she describes how e-filing is the centerpiece of reducing the cost for both the court systems as well as improving access to courts for our litigants, the public in general, and improving how we can make it more powerful for our attorneys and the legal landscape to e-file and make it much easier. So as we move on to the next slide, you can see that 32 out of the 62 counties here in New York are live with e-filing. Now, that's about over half of the counties, and they are live with e-filing, but to varying degrees. So if we move on, and you can see I want to describe the other counties here. If we could click on to the next slide, you can see that various counties have different mandatory and consensual e-filing status. So you'll see that New York County requires mandatory e-filing except for certain types of actions, such as Article 70, 78, and there's like election law as well as matrimonial and mental hygiene matters. But you can see that the type of actions or type of cases changes in Westchester County as well as Suffolk County. And so the degree to which you have to do mandatory filing changes by where you are filing in what county. Now, since things change all the time, I highly recommend that you visit the New York State Court electronic filing website, and there you can review the administrative orders for details specifically on your county. And that was that little PDF that was on the bottom. So that gets me to the next slide here, which is really about the rules. And as we all know, since we work in the legal profession, we are kind of mandated by rules. And the rules on mandatory e-filing as well as consensual e-filing is under the New York Code Rules and Regulations. And 202.5 BB is the one that handles mandatory e-filing, and 202.5-B handles the consensual e-filing. It's really important to know the differences and the rules. As an example, I listed a couple cases here, but the first case, which is Batra versus Electronic Land Services, that case, as well as another case I did not list, and I'll tell you the name of that. That is Yellen versus Berg. Both cases are from the New York County. Now, and they both deal with consent to e-filing and how e-filing, in those cases, filing a demand for complaint resulted in consent to e-filing, which meant that the plaintiff didn't actually have to physically serve the complaint. They could have valid service of the complaint through the electronic court system. So knowing the rules and how that plays with electronic filing is very important. The other case I listed there at the very bottom is Baidu versus Blood Drazaku. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. But this case is not necessarily about e-filing, but it's a case that reflects how technology is shifting our legal rules and making it much easier for us to access the courts. In Baidu, which is a very well-written opinion, it lays down the groundwork for what you need to do to effectuate service of process when other methods of service has been really inadequate or it fails. And it addresses how you can use social media, such as Facebook, to effect service. So that really tells you how the New York court system is moving towards using technology and allowing more of the public to have access to the court systems. Now let me shift to a few tips on New York e-filing. And as you can see, I say use technology to stay organized. Organization is critical to your practice when you're e-filing, especially since New York is not 100% electronic and not 100% mandatory yet. So what that means is that you should communicate with your staff and tell them why e-filing is going to be a benefit to your practice. You should also explain the steps to transition into e-filing, and that'll help them accept the changes. Also, writing down your process is quite important. When you e-file, there are specific steps you need to take and to file properly. What you don't want to do is just leave it to your staff to do all the filings, or leave it to one person to do all your filings, and then you would have no idea what's going on if that person called in sick. Imagine that you left it to your young paralegal, he or she calls in sick, and so now you don't know what to do, and that may mean you miss the statute of limitations for filing, let's say, a personal injury claim. You don't want to have a single point of failure, so it's very important to write down your processes. Also, writing down the processes allows you, if you increase in staff number or you get a new staff member, allows you to easily transition and to help them e-file for you. The next tip is about emails. So on the next slide, I talk about spam or junk email. And it's very important to know that in our daily day of going through emails, we get about 120 emails a day. And many of those emails are legitimate, but within that, you're going to get spam. And that's why many email providers such as Gmail or Outlook or even Yahoo, they have filters to identify what be considered good versus bad emails. However, some of those filters can be very aggressive and filter out good emails or emails that you really need. So I suggest that you whitelist certain email addresses and domain addresses. So that means that you are listing out specific emails, let's say from the clerk's office, opposing counsels, or important clients, so that they don't get mistakenly put into your spam or junk folder. And that may cause you to miss, let's say, a filing that you need to respond to. Another thing is that you don't want to blindly delete emails. But blindly deleting spam emails could get you into a lot of trouble. And that's illustrated in this case here that I've listed right under there, Emerald Coast Utilities Authority versus Bear Marcus Point. That's a case from the state of Florida. And I recommend you look up this case. It's quite entertaining to read because it goes through how this one firm that represented the utility company had a failed system in place where it deleted their emails, causing about almost $1 million in legal fees that they have to pay the other party. The other tip I want to go into is the file naming convention. And I highly suggest this because as you e-file, all the titles of your files or pleadings are going to start to look the same, even if you have them organized in folders and such. So here's a few simple formats I suggest. So one format is to use the type, a description, client name or client last name, and a date. So in the example, let's say I do a motion. So I would use MOT as the type descriptor, limiting it to 3 characters, let's say. And I put in a description of an extension of time. I put in the client name and then the date of the document. Another example is a letter. If I write a letter, I'll use LTR, and I'll put status hearing date with Smith and then the date in there. The reason for using a naming convention is that you'll really benefit not only from when you e-file, because you'll know exactly the document that you're filing, and you'll know that you're filing it for the right client, but also when you're searching and sorting documents. You know that you'll probably search for a specific type of document. Let's say you're searching for a motion, or you're searching for documents for a specific client. This will help you do that. Now, the last tip I have before I hand it over to Natasha just talks about technology in general. So I really suggest that everyone embrace technology to boost your productivity in your law firm. And one of those things is to use case management or a practice management system like LEAP. That will help you, especially as things move more into electronic or what we call a paperless environment. It'll help you minimize your risks, which means it'll help you minimize the risk of possibly getting into malpractice cases because of your failing to file on time, missing statute of limitation dates. Also, it will minimize your risk of getting into disciplinary actions as well. And using case management systems helps you to become more efficient and effective in the way you practice. Everyone is very mobile these days, and everyone expects lawyers to be available all the time. So having a system that you can access on the computer, on the go, even on your mobile app, will be very effective in how you deliver good service to your client. So with that, I'm just going to hand it over back to Natasha to give you a look at LEAP.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks, Ben. That was very informative. I'd like to now just go into a mini demonstration to show you how LEAP can make your practice more efficient. When you first open LEAP, you'll find a list of all your matters. You will see it's very easy to filter through. You can filter by recently viewed. You can also filter by accounting status. In the search field, you can type in the client name, the matter description, or type. There's also an advanced search, as well as a property search. So whatever it is that you're looking for, there are multiple ways to find it quickly. Now, let's say, for example, your client calls and you need to quickly locate their matter. You just type in their name, and LEAP locates the electronic matter for you. Okay, so this is what we call the electronic matter, and it's the equivalent of your manila folder. It's where you keep all the information and documents relating to the matter. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see all of the matter information. And it's this data that provides a platform for you to accurately manage the matter and produce documents. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see all of the documents that relate to the matter: letters, faxes, PDFs, scanned items, and both incoming and outgoing emails. You will find that once you start using LEAP, you don't have to get a manila folder every time your client calls, for example, because you have all the facts and documents at your fingertips. Now, at the top of the electronic matter, you have additional information: calendar and tasks, time and fees, office and trust. We'll come back to those tabs shortly. This is the LEAP toolbar. It's very easy to use. I'm going to come back to this shortly as well. Now, client information is entered into what we call a client card. This information is entered one time, and it's retained for all matters relating to this client. You'll see that the tables on the left-hand side are relevant to your matter type. Now, there are many different matter types covering all the common areas of law for you to choose from during the matter opening process, including family law, litigation, personal injury, real estate. So as you can see, you can actually run all of your matters through LEAP. And the importance of the matter type is that it provides you with that checklist of required information, and also with the relevant forms for that particular area of law. Now, as an example, this is a screen to capture the support details. We're in a contested divorce matter. So this creates part of the electronic record of the work that you've done and is reused for all matters, all information and documents created with this matter. Now, I know that written correspondence is a big part of any attorney's day. You have your forms. When you go into forms and templates, you're going to see that all of the family law forms, since we're in a family law matter, have been put into easy-to-use, organized folders. LEAP has automated all of these, so you can produce them with a click of a button and save hours of manual work rekeying in client and matter information. Now, one that's frequently used in this matter type is the verified complaint. All of our forms are kept up to date in LEAP by our content team. So if a form has been updated, you will immediately get access to it the next time that you open it. You will see that the information that was entered into LEAP has merged into your document in an instant. This simple operation will save you and your staff hours of time every single month. You can see you have the LEAP toolbar on every document that you open in LEAP. This is because we have a tight integration with the Microsoft Office suite of products. We're actually the only software provider to work closely with Microsoft to provide such complex document automation. In the LEAP toolbar, you'll see that you have the option to save and close the document. And that document goes right back into your electronic matter with the timestamp and the initials of the creator. You may also want to produce a one-off document. Let's go with the letter. You select who you're sending it to, and you have a good database. All the details are already there. You simply click Create, and you can see the data from your matter has merged into your document in an instant, and all you have to do is type in the body. You can actually automatically record the time that you spent working on this letter by selecting Time, Save, and Close. You have the option to amend the billing description, and then Save and Close. Once you click Save and Close, the time entry will save to the Time and Fees tab, and the document will be saved to the Documents list. Now, I know that you also have your own templates. Those can actually be imported into LEAP and automated, or you can even create a new template through Word, Excel, or Outlook. To make sure that a firm is up and running quickly with LEAP, we actually automate 20 firm-specific templates for free. And by having these templates automated, you save hours of time rekeying in client and matter information, and you also minimize the risk from copying and pasting from old document templates. Now, lawyers do rely on written communications, but we have some cool modern features in LEAP as well. If you go and click on any client card on the right-hand side or card of a third party, you can call directly from the matter. You can also send a text message directly from the matter. And that will save in the correspondence section. Now, managing all of your correspondence is simple. You can simply right-click, and you'll be presented with a variety of options. You can view a history of changes, for example. So this is useful if you're drafting an agreement. You can also compare two documents side by side in two different matters, in the same matter outside of LEAP. If you need to combine multiple documents into one PDF file, this is very easy to do. You simply highlight them, right-click, create a combined PDF. You can adjust the order of the documents. You can rename the PDF file. And once you click Create, you'll see that that's saved automatically against the matter in LEAP. You're also going to be able to sort your documents into folders. You can have literally any folder structure set up in your matters. So when you open a divorce matter or a litigation matter, you can keep organized. You can create new folders, drag and drop documents into folders, etc. We also have the comment feature. Now this is really great for case updates, phone calls, or internal notes to staff. Let's say, for example, you spoke to a client and you provided them with an update. You can actually timestamp and date that. You can add additional comments, or your staff can add additional comments, timestamp and date that as well. You can also view the timer as you work. that timer is automatically running so you can time record for the comment once you're through. Or you can regular save and close, and you'll see the comment is saved against the matter. You can even notify another staff member, and when you click save and close, they'll get a pop-up on their screen. Now, one of the main benefits of LEAP is having all of your correspondence in one central location. You can import any correspondence that comes in the mail. If you need to scan something in, import a document, import a folder, everything can be easily added. Now, Outlook is very unstructured in terms of email storage. LEAP actually organizes all emails into the correct matter, so it's easy to run collaboratively in a small office environment. Right-click and share, and you'll see that you're able to either email an original or a PDF. So let's select PDF. You're going to have a matter-specific address book that comes up for you. And this opens up Outlook, just like it did with Word. It's a nice, smooth integration. Once you select your recipient, you can click OK. You'll see that the subject has merged. The document has merged. You can insert additional correspondence directly from the matter in one click. You can also save the draft and send it later once you're complete. You can time record and send, so you can automatically capture the time you spent drafting the email, or send like normal. The great thing about LEAP is that there's an invisible tag at the bottom of any email that you send. So all you need to do is send your initial email from LEAP and then work out of Outlook like normal. And you'll have peace of mind that all of your replies and their replies copy automatically to the correct matter in LEAP. You will also, of course, receive incoming emails throughout the day. Now, when you go back into Outlook, you'll see that it's very easy to add those emails to the matter as well. You simply open up the email that came incoming, and LEAP suggests the matter that it belongs to. You can save that to the matter, and again, you have peace of mind that all of your replies and their replies copy to the correct matter. You can also automatically capture the time that you spent reading an incoming email from a client. Now, this takes us into the Infotrac portal, and I'll go ahead and let Ben take over from here. He'll show you a list of all of the searches and services that are available. And of course, the service that we're highlighting today is New York e-filing. So from any matter in LEAP, you can click on searching and services, and it takes you right in. All right,
Thanks,
so
Natasha.
you take over for the Infotrac portion of the demo.
Yeah, let me just tie some of these powerful things that you saw in the LEAP features. I'm just going to use a few screenshots here. And you can see from what you saw when Natasha was doing the demonstration, this is your matter where you have your plaintiff and your defendant. It also is where you keep all your documents and emails. Well, when we click to the next slide, you'll see that button, Searching and Services with Infotrac, if we were to click on that, that'll take you within LEAP to our site, which displays all of our services. Now, I know we're going to focus directly on e-filing New York here. So as we go on to the next slide, you'll see once you click on that button, that'll get you to our portal that goes directly into the New York State Court e-filing system. Here you'll see this is just a demo page, but here are all the cases that we've currently worked on. Now, for example, what I'm going to do is click on Create a Case, and you'll see in the next screen that it lists out the court location, the case type, and you also see the plaintiff and defendant information. The important thing about integrated e-filing is, if we go to the next screen, the information that you have here on the plaintiff and defendant, you already have it in LEAP. So we want to wait for this to come up here. You'll see that the information you've already entered into LEAP, which is Henry Adams and the defendant Acme, that information is already filled into our system. So it eliminates the need to re-enter or re-key things. Also, it eliminates any risk of making mistakes. So that information is already in there. Also, if we go on to the next slide, you'll see that when you have to upload a document, so let's say you have a summons and complaint, when you click on the upload file button, what happens is we go directly into the LEAP matter. So what you'll see, and I'll show you a comparison shot on the next slide, that the documents that you have available to upload into the New York State court filing system is actually all the documents that are in your LEAP matter. So that'll come up. So anything that's in your LEAP matter is available to e-file into the New York system through the new Infotrac system. Also, the nice thing is you can leave it in your Word format. You already saw that powerful system of document automation. So imagine you start in LEAP, you got your intake, you got all your plaintiff and client information, and then you draft the complaint and summons within LEAP. From there, you go right to Infotrac. We will convert that Word document into the PDF format that is accepted by the New York State Court filing system, and then that'll go upload right into the court system. Also, when you submit the document, you'll be paying a filing fee. All those fees goes right back into LEAP, so you don't have to do any billing reconciliation. You'll also see that when you go into that matter and it gets filed, all the data, all the information on the dockets, your documents that you filed and gets accepted by the court, feeds right back into your LEAP matter. So everything is back into one place. Everything comes back into LEAP. And that's the beauty of an integrated system. So you can envision how creating and managing a matter in LEAP really gets you to a very efficient system. So just a few bullet points on Infotrac. We have auto-population of party information and other information about your case. We also do automatic PDF conversion for you. You have direct access to all the documents in your LEAP matter. So there's no need to go out of your system and save it to your desktop or another local folder and then upload it. And lastly, you can have all your costs and expenses saved directly back to the LEAP matter, which means you can invoice faster. Also means you get paid faster and you're keeping track of all of your expenses. I believe on the last slide, this is a quote from a case called U.S. versus Kerlock, and this is a case where talked about how a defense attorney misfiled a document. But I think this quote is really humorous and does tell some truth. And it says, "To err is human, but to really foul things up requires a computer." In parting, we note that the cause of this error was that Kerlock's counsel had unfortunately failed to double-check the document he had electronically transmitted to the district court. Although the modern use of a computer is a great time saver, its ease of use should not assuage the almost obsessive attentiveness that is required when filing any document with a court. Otherwise, a scenario such as Kerlock's may occur, which proves the adage that a computer lets you make more mistakes faster than any invention in human history, with the possible exceptions of handguns and tequila. So it's very important to have the right tools and have the right partners in your corner. And I can't imagine any other case management software that would help you like LEAP, especially when it's integrated with Infotrac. So I'll hand it back to Natasha.
Great, yeah, of course. So thank you for watching the LEAP demo, a mini demo, and the Infotrac portion of the program as well. As part of our webinar promotion today, we'd like to offer our viewers the following incentives for LEAP and Infotrac. We will give you a free data transition from your legacy system. So our transitions team, whether you're with another software provider or running your firm manually, will collate and transition your client and matter details into LEAP for you. So when you log into LEAP for the first time, you won't be starting with a blank slate, but rather you'll have your clients and matters available to you in the system. During this transition, there's minimal disruption to your firm. And as I mentioned during the LEAP demo, we even automate 20 firm-specific templates for you at no cost as part of the LEAP arrangement. Something else we'd like to offer is a free on-site installation. As we are a local provider in New York, a dedicated firm consultant will actually come out to your firm and install LEAP on as many devices as you'd like. They'll set up your billing rates, invoice templates, letter templates, etc. We'd also like to offer free on-site training. So basically, a dedicated firm consultant, as I said, will also come out to your firm. They'll train you and your staff on how to use LEAP. There will be an initial training, a bookkeeping training, and a follow-up training. And this will ensure that you and your staff become power users in no time at all. And then as part of the webinar promo, Infotrac actually wants to offer free e-filing for 6 months. Since you attended the webinar today, you'll be able to take advantage of that through Infotrac as well. The above promotion is available through December 14th, so be sure to contact myself or Bin if you would like to see a full demonstration.